This is leaning to like a cherry Dr. Pepper mixed with root beer to me. Maybe that's why you like it so much. This tastes like it's got 23 flavors.
So much. Welcome to the channel, bringing a real-world perspective to the real-world whiskey consumer.
And welcome to our head-to-head matchups, where we randomly select one of these unknown matchups from our double-blind sample pool and taste them totally at random, totally double-blind. Already said all that. That way you get the most honest opinions possible. With that said, let's go ahead and run our randomizer, see which pair we're tasting today.
Number 8.
8. Well, there's 9 in the front row, so that's 9. This is number 8.
There you go.
We'll get these poured up, and we will be back with our first impressions on both glasses. All right, we've got everything cleaned up. We're not going to dawdle. We're going to get right into glass 1 on the nose.
Well, this smells like blue cheese, and I don't like blue cheese.
What in the world?
I got to give this a second smell.
This, to me, smells like classic bourbon. Smells fine. Smells good. Smells all right. Smells very over home plate.
It smells like blue cheese. If you like blue cheese, you're welcome. If you
I don't know where you're getting blue cheese from. Maybe it's a little bit of a funk. We did just come off some sweetness, so maybe...
Yeah, it's definitely funky.
Sweet, little funky, but not in a bad way.
Yeah.
To me, let's get it on the palate.
This tastes like a wheated bourbon.
Wow, this to me tastes like a straight up cherry cola.
We are
like a liter of cola.
I hope we're tasting the same thing because we are getting vastly different experiences.
We are. Yeah, this is straight up a liter of cola. It like a cherry Coke. Like I would say I don't drink a fair bit of cherry Coke, but when I do splurge on soda on rare occasion, it's cherry Coke.
Yep.
That's what this tastes like.
You're a cherry Coke guy.
Yeah.
I'm a Dr. Pepper girl.
This almost even has a little bit of the effervescence that Coke can have, like a little bit of the carbonation. There's a little bit of that type of effect on it. Wow, yeah, this is sweet, a little bit, it's got that cola darkness to it. Let's get into another sip.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, it is sweet, but it's an artificial sweetness to me.
It is.
And it's also kind of gross.
Well, to me...
It tastes like a wheated bourbon, and to me, I don't like that.
I'm not getting the wheated bourbon hallmarks here, but it's worth saying, you definitely do get a little bit of funkiness and almost like something's turned for the worse.
That's what I'm getting.
On wheated bourbons a lot of times.
There's certain ones that I don't get that on, but a lot of them I do.
Yeah. So second sip on this for me, what happened was it stayed in cherry Coke lane, but the Coke syrup or the cherry syrup that went into the Coke got a little, like somebody spilled a little bit too much in there.
A little heavy, yeah.
It almost got a little too heavy-handed. So that's going to be one I'm going to be very curious to come back to on the palate after I've cleared my palate out and given myself a little bit more time. Off camera, we'll do that in a second, but first we got to get into glass 2 on the nose.
To me, whatever this is already better on the nose.
Yeah, they're different. Like this smells more like fruity sweet forward. This smells a little bit more balanced.
It smells more like a classic bourbon compared to glass 1 for sure.
Well, I said glass 1 was over home plate, good, classic.
Well, I very strongly disagree with your opinion on that.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't agree with that.
Right. After getting into it, it is more fruity sweet and syrupy, whereas this does seem a little bit more classic. And I would say a little bit more of your caramels, your vanillas, more caramel though.
Yeah.
And a little bit of oak.
Yep.
But there is some sweetness there. There's like maybe it's the vanilla sweetness just coming through. Like there's a big difference between like a cherry cola sweetness and more of like a vanilla sweetness. And this is bringing a little bit more of the vanilla. Let's get into the palate.
Oh, see, to me, this one kind of tastes cherry cola-y. Like an off-brand cherry cola. So not cherry Coke, but like a off-brand.
Yeah. Maybe our minds are just on sodas or something here, but as we here in Tennessee, we'll call them Cokes. But to be more specific, it's like what kind of Coke do you want? If you're in the Midwest, and you're like, give me Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. So, we definitely call everything Coke. And then it's like, which Coke do you want? I'm like,
right.
Dr. Pepper.
Right. This, to me, comes through with like a little bit more of like a root beery type of vibe to it.
Okay. I'm going to taste it again to confirm.
Okay. It's got a little bit more darkness, a little bit more nuttiness to it. There's like a earthiness there. Still very sweet. It's kind of got like a brown sugar, caramel, vanilla note, but I wish it were a little bit more vanilla forward. That, like I was getting on the nose. I really like that vanilla forwardness. Vanilla is like my favorite note to get in bourbon.
Yeah, I do
and
like
if you
vanilla.
can give me way vanilla forward, I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Like put me in a bowl of ice cream. That's my jam. So
French vanilla or vanilla bean ice cream?
yes.
Okay. Both.
I'm going to take another sip.
Okay. So you mentioned root beer, and I can see how you're getting that. I don't necessarily get that, but I see there are elements of that I can see how some people might think that's more root beer.
Yeah. To me, experience-wise, these are both pretty comparable. Like the finish on Glass 2 is still going right now. It's just hanging and clinging. But Glass 1 is no slouch either. There's definitely a flavor profile difference between these two, but the experience is close. We're going to need to spend some time with these, not talking to you, to make sure we give them a fair assessment. We'll be right back with what we really think. All right, after getting cozy with these two glasses, relatively speaking, what do you think? How did they compare? Which one is your favorite? Yada, yada. Let's talk.
I had a clear favorite of the two.
Yeah.
And mine was Glass 2.
Not even close.
It was a easy Glass 2 for the win.
Yeah.
Although I will say, when I started with Glass 2 first and then went to Glass 1, I got some of that funkiness that I got on Glass 1, on Glass 2. I get like that, the funkiness I get with wheated bourbons. I got a little bit of that on Glass 2. I think it was masked when I tried it the first time because I was coming off of Glass 1. But that being said, it was much lighter of a funk. It was less in my face. It was less offensive. So I liked it more. So this glass gets a thumbs up. This glass gets a thumbs down. It is not for me.
Whoa, thumbs down.
It's not for me, and I'm not saying it's bad, but I did not like it at all.
So Glass 1 thumbs down, Glass
Yes.
2 thumbs up.
Yes.
Wow, okay. So for me, I liked both of these, although they're both just a little off for me.
Yeah.
I like them. I honestly don't know which one I prefer.
Really?
Glass 1, everything I said in the first impressions held true after taking my time and starting with the second one and clearing out my palate and all that stuff. We're talking about cherry cola versus like a kind of a mix of cherry Dr. Pepper and root beer with this one. I kind of got
I feel like you would love that.
I do, but it's leaning a little bit too far away.
Okay.
Like I wish it just had a little bit more sweetness. I think Glass 1 is a little bit more fruit forward. Glass 2 is a little bit more dark, but it leans a little nutty.
Okay.
And the nuttiness that it leans into starts to get a little drying. I think, and I'm not trying to guess, I don't ever try to guess, but Glass 1 reminds me of like a Buffalo Trace or an MGP profile, whereas Glass 2 reminds me a little bit more of something like a Heaven Hill or like a Jim Beam profile. So if you are a Buffalo Trace or MGP fan and Glass 1 isn't either of those, then this is a bottle to check out.
Maybe.
If you're more of like a Elijah Craig or Rebel or Ezra Brooks fan and Glass 2 isn't one of those, then this is a bottle to check out. I'm not trying to be right. I'm just expressing that so that if these aren't those things, they remind me so much of those things that these could be cool bottles for you to check out. At the end of the day, if you ask me which one I'd rather have another pour of right now, it would be really difficult to decide.
I need you to give me some scores, bro.
Did I not?
No.
Oh, I'm going to go thumbs up on both.
Okay.
I like both of them, but it's going to be price dependent. This is the one where the price could really change my ratings. And this is what we do here. We find out the price and see how that might affect our ratings first before we find out what we're drinking. Yep. We think that gives you the most honest opinions possible. So let's get right into it and find out some prices.
Okay.
So glass number 1 in our blind head-to-head sample key is number 48, and glass number 2 is number 47. So the price on glass number 1 is
$70.
Okay. And the price on glass number 2?
$130.
Whoa.
Glass
Are
number 2
you
is number...
serious?
Yep, I'm serious.
Whoa.
Yep.
Whoa.
This changes my ratings on both of them.
Okay. Let's hear it then. What's your ratings?
I'm a thumbs down on both.
Wow.
I'm gonna pass on
Well, that
both.
doesn't change your ratings on one. You're already a thumbs down.
Oh yeah, so it keeps one the same, but it becomes, because this while I liked it better than glass one,
Yeah.
this particular, whatever this is, isn't in my preferred flavor profile.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to spend my money on whatever this is, especially if it's over $100.
So you're a hard pass on both.
Yeah.
I would say I'm going to stay thumbs up on glass one at 70. I like this much more than that. I'm going to start changing my tune, but I'm fine at 70. Glass two at 130. 130?
Yep.
I'm going to go just okay with that.
Okay.
I think it's the more complex of the two pours. So I think there is some merit to it there. But boy, I would waffle on buying a bottle of this, personally speaking, after having tried it blind.
Yeah.
I might, look, I'm probably going to look like an idiot when we find out what these are, but let's find out. Glass number one is...
Weller Foolproof Store Pick.
That checks out with that
It is
fruity,
a weeded bourbon.
It is a weeded bourbon. Somebody was right.
Boom. Somebody was right.
What's glass number two?
Bardstown Discovery Series 6.
Wow. Wow.
Yep.
Okay, this is a fascinating matchup. The whole reason I put this in our head-to-head pool is because this Weller Foolproof, or any Weller Foolproof store pick or just non-store pick, goes for hundreds of dollars in price gouging stores, but it should be like a $70 bottle.
Gotcha.
Roundabout. Bardstown Discovery Series is a lot more easy to get your hands on, but the price is higher.
Yeah.
And from the time we put it in the pool when it was $130, it's now jumped on up to like $145.
I was gonna say, I thought they were $150 for those.
Yeah,
but
they've jumped up, and with that jump that they've experienced, they've also started blending in like toasted. They've been doing some like toasted stave finishing. Okay. They started blending in some bourbons from other states. So there's a lot of stuff going on with Bardstown Discovery.
Is there wheat? Like, is this had a little funk in it?
I'm trying to remember what's in six. I think the funk you're probably detecting, and anybody watching this is probably yelling at their screen. They're like, "It's the George Dickel." It does have George Dickel Tennessee whiskey in it, and a lot of people get some funkiness from that.
Maybe that's what I'm getting.
But man, this was really fascinating.
I knew this was a weeder. I knew it. In my soul, I knew it so much, and I was willing to be wrong.
Yeah.
But I knew it.
So this is fascinating. So Weller Foolproof, through blind tastings, I continually tend to rank it pretty high when I don't necessarily rank the rest of the Weller line all that high.
Gotcha.
But I like them all just fine. I just don't think they're worth the hype. Whereas Bardstown Discovery, as the prices have climbed up, and we've tried a lot of barrel craft spirits, bourbon batches, and we found that they're very comparable to the Bardstown batches for like $40, $50, now $60 less. I'm as much of a Bardstown fan as I am. I'm really struggling with the price of their products,
fans,
and I want to support them. Like that would be why I would pay the $140 or $50 for a recent Bardstown batch Discovery Series. But I'm just having a real tough time wrapping my head around it from like a personally frugal person, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
Not as frugal as her, but
in the grand scheme of life, you are pretty frugal.
Right.
Yeah.
But honestly, with Bardstown, what I'm getting excited about is their own distillate. Their Origin series that's going to be coming out. That I'm going to go through. Me and Bardstown are reconsidering our relationship, as it were.
You're redefining terms.
We are. We used to be steady. We used to be tight. And now we're kind of going through a little rocky patch.
You were on a break? You're on a break now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
while you're courting other distilleries?
That is fair because I haven't bought Discovery Series 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And I won't buy 9. But when Origin Series comes out, we're gonna give it another go.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
This is very interesting. I will say, I thought the two of these a little bit cloying sweet, not quite my wheelhouse, a little too much. Whereas this one was kind of leaning a little nutty and I like the darkness. I like that more, but it started leaning a little nutty. I said off camera, I think if I could combine these two, they would be perfect. So
do it.
To cap this off,
let's do it.
Let's put them together. Okay. You don't even have them to combine.
Nope, I'm not even going to drink that. It's all good. And while Josh drinks that, if you liked today's video, give this video a thumbs up, give it a like. And if you're not subscribed and you'd like to subscribe, we'll let you do that. Feel free. Anytime. It's no commitment. You can unsubscribe if you want. And then also go ahead and hit that bell icon to be notified when we have our monthly live streams, because those dates do change periodically. And then we'll also let you know when we post our weekly videos.
These do work together, but I'm going to let Erin try it because she's averse to that weeded funk.
Yep.
So let's see what she thinks about it after taking a sip. I think The Bardstown Discovery kind of tempered the cloying sweetness of the Weller Full Proof. And then...
There's still some funk there.
Yeah.
But it is less funky.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate that. I don't love the funk, so this tamed down the funk.
Yeah.
So
she does not gotta have the funk.
I mean, in my music, I gotta have the funk, but not in my whiskey.
Yeah. That's gonna be it for this week, guys. Be good to each other, and until next time, cheers. Would it surprise you to say that I don't think either one of these are weeders?
Yes.
It would?
I would be surprised.
I don't think they are.
I think they are.
I'll put this in the bloopers if I'm right, so I look smart, and if I'm wrong, I'll completely delete it. Was that good?
Yeah, it was great. Would you like this?
Yeah.
I do not want this at all. You may have it. Get it away.
All right.
But there's some Wellers that I've liked.
Some. You
But
like
not
Weller
like-
12. You like some foolproof store picks, but not all. More often than not, you don't like
But
them.
as far as weeders go, Maker's Mark is the ones that
That's the one
Those
you
are the
like.
ones that I like. And why do I like them? Because they're less funky.
You know what? And a lot of people say Makers are more funky, but they're not as cloying sweet. They're a little darker in profile, and the funk that they have is different.
It's different. It's not...
You just don't like the Weller funk.
Whatever this funk is not for Aaron.
Weller funk has like a mustiness to it, and you don't like that.
I don't.
Maker's funk is a little bit more like nutty and dairy, and you don't mind that as much.
Oh, I love nuts and I love dairy.
There you go.
Give me some cheese and peanuts all the time.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
Every day.
To enchant a woman, you may give her a piece of cheese.
Definitely this woman. I'm all about that cheese, man.